Hey horse lovers! Today Maxie and I want to talk to you about the difference between releasing to a halt or to a stop and releasing in motion. When my horse is new to my program or to me as a partner, I'll do a lot of releasing to a halt. That is in an effort to help my horse understand how to use pressure as information. But you would be surprised how quickly you would have more success if you changed your mindset to release in motion. So when I release to a halt, it means the pressure is going to come on gradually and predictably, and as soon as there's the slightest try, one little step, one little change, something that's headed in the right direction, then I'm going to completely release, stop everything, allow my horse to process, and then begin again. Usually I'll do that about 3 times in a row, evaluate my progress, and then decide from that information what to do next. If things are making progress in those 3 tries, then I'll probably change the subject. If I haven't made progress in those 3 tries, then I'm going to think to myself, what about this concept am I not making clear to my horse, right? It is up to me to have a plan, to be clear in my plan, to know what it looks like and to know what it's meant to feel like, so that I can guide her to that place using pressure and release. However, Maxie here is 21 years old this year, and she and I have been together since literally the day she was born. That's the day I met her. And so we have a lot of miles under us together. We've been through a lot, and she understands a lot. She's a very educated horse, and she and I have a lot of understanding amongst each other. So I can't even imagine a scenario where I would release to a stop at this point in her life and her level of education. Instead, the release comes in motion. So I add pressure generally to add quality to a behavior, right? So the quality most often lacking for Maxie is effort or energy. So when I release the pressure, it's into the maneuver. It's not to a stop, right? I release to lightness versus release to a stop. So a really good example of that is the turnaround or a turn on the haunches, right? Maxie and I are not reiners. I have no background in any kind of performance. I'm just speaking purely from a psychological and behavioral perspective here. I want her to enjoy what we're doing, right? I want the feel-good feelings. I want the serotonin and the oxytocin and sometimes even endorphins to be produced through the action, not a burst of dopamine because we achieved an outcome and came to a halt, all right? If all I do is release to a stop, I teach my horse to wish for it to be over. What do I got to do to get you to stop poking me? What do I got to do to get you to stop, pulling on me or whacking me with that stick, all right? What instead I would like for her to do is think to herself, whoa, that feels nice. I hope this keeps going, right? I want this to keep happening. So let's talk about it in terms of the turnaround. All right, if I was in teaching mode with the horse that I was riding, right, I would make everything super obvious. I would lift my rein and I'm pushing with my outside aids, and even just a shift in that direction, I might release to a stop. Like, whoa, good try, everything's awesome, you're headed in the right direction, right? So she has a chance of understanding the goal. But since Maxie here is way more advanced than that, what if I did things a bit more refined? Instead of having big, obvious gestures, I'm going to move my aids, my reins, and my legs and say, me and my aids are going in this direction at this speed. How about you? So every time she slows down, I give her a little tap with my stick. But when she's in motion and it feels nice, I have a joyful feeling. Whee! That felt so good. So it's light, so that gives her a chance of enjoying the doing. And then I have a joyful feeling about it, and I'm hoping that that translates to her as well. I believe strongly that we each have an electromagnetic field, and that the frequency of that field is produced by our thoughts and emotions. So if I have thoughts that are negative or disempowering, that's going to feel like pressure to her. But if I have thoughts that are uplifting, joyful, happy, love, right, then that's going to feel good to her, and it will cause her to want to do it more. Okay, so here's the best thing I can tell you about all of that. You can move from release to a stop into releasing for lightness, or releasing to lightness, releasing towards the goal versus just for the goal itself, much, much quicker than you think. As soon as you're getting pretty consistent results with release to a stop, it's time to move on to release to lightness. I hope you found that helpful. Let me know how it goes.